What drives a person to wield a shovel against something as harmless as a sprinkler, tearing apart a field meant for joy? In the sleepy suburb of Willow Creek, where the air hummed with the scent of freshly cut grass and the laughter of children, Karen Whitaker's name became synonymous with chaos. Her story wasn't just about a moment of rage. It was a descent into obsession, a clash of wills, and a heartbreaking lesson in the cost of unchecked anger. Karen, a 42-year-old accountant, lived in a tidy house on Maple Drive, her lawn manicured to perfection, her life a carefully curated display of order. But beneath her polished exterior simmered a resentment that had festered for years. The Willow Creek soccer field, a vibrant hub for the town's youth, sat just beyond her backyard. Every weekend, the field came alive with cheering parents, squealing kids, and the relentless pop-pop-pop of sprinklers keeping the turf green. To Karen, it was an assault on her peace, a reminder that her control stopped at her property line. It began with small complaints. Karen would march to the field, arms crossed, demanding the sprinklers be turned off during her afternoon naps. The coaches, led by the affable Coach Ramirez, tried to reason with her. "The kids need a safe field, Karen," he'd say, his voice gentle but firm. "The sprinklers keep it playable." Karen would scoff, her lips pursing into a thin line, and storm back home. But the noise gnawed at her, a daily reminder of her powerlessness. Her frustration grew into fixation. She started documenting the sprinkler schedule, noting every whoosh and spray in a spiral notebook. She called the town council, filed complaints, and even started a petition to relocate the field. Nobody took her seriously. The council dismissed her, citing budget constraints and the field's importance to the community. Neighbors whispered about Karen being Karen, rolling their eyes at her tirades. But to Karen, it wasn't just about sprinklers, it was about respect, about her right to silence in her own home. One sweltering July evening, something snapped. Karen stood at her kitchen window, watching the sprinklers arc across the field, their mist catching the golden light of dusk. The laughter of kids practicing drills echoed in her ears, each giggle a needle in her fraying patience. She didn't plan it, not really. It was as if her body moved on its own, her hands grabbing the rusty shovel from the garage, her feet carrying her across the dew-soaked grass. The first strike was cathartic. The shovel's blade bit into the soft earth, severing a sprinkler head with a satisfying crunch. Water sprayed wildly, soaking her shoes, but Karen didn't stop. She swung again and again, her breath ragged, her face flushed with a mix of fury and exhilaration. By the time she was done, the field was a muddy battlefield. Sprinkler heads scattered like fallen soldiers, water pooling in uneven patches. Karen stood panting, shovel in hand, feeling a fleeting triumph until the flashing lights of a police car pulled into the lot. The aftermath was swift and brutal. The town's outrage was palpable. Parents flooded social media with photos of the ruined field, hashtags like Karen wrecked it, trending locally. The council estimated the damage at $150,000, a figure that included not just repairs but the cost of canceling the youth soccer season. Karen was arrested, charged with vandalism, and hauled before a judge who didn't hide his disdain. "You've robbed this community of something precious," he said, slamming his gavel. The fine was staggering, and the order to personally oversee the repairs felt like a public shaming. But the story wasn't just about Karen's rampage. Enter Mia, a 16-year-old soccer player who'd been the star striker on the Willow Creek Wildcats. Mia wasn't just another kid on the team. She was a scholarship hopeful, her dreams of college pinned on her performance. The field's destruction hit her hard. Her family couldn't afford private clubs, and the public field was her only stage. Mia's quiet strength and determination were a stark contrast to Karen's chaos, and her presence shifted the narrative in unexpected ways. While Karen faced the town's wrath, Mia organized a fundraiser to save the season. She rallied her teammates, local businesses, and even strangers online, her earnest pleas cutting through the noise of outrage. "This field isn't just grass," she said in a viral video, her voice trembling with conviction. "It's where we learn to fight, to lose, to win together." Donations poured in, and Mia became the town's unlikely hero. But here was the twist. Mia didn't hate Karen. Instead, she visited her, bringing a notebook of her own, not one filled with complaints, but with stories from her teammates about what the field meant to them. Karen, now drowning in legal fees and public scorn, was stunned. She'd expected anger, not empathy. Mia's gesture cracked something in her, a flicker of guilt she'd buried under layers of self-righteousness. "Why are you doing this?" Karen asked, her voice hoarse. Mia shrugged, her eyes steady. "Because I think you're hurting more than we are." It was a moment that could have changed everything. A chance for redemption, but Karen wasn't ready. She pushed Mia's notebook away, muttering about her own grievances, too entrenched to see the lifeline being offered. The repairs began, but Karen's involvement was a farce. She showed up to the field under court order, sullen and silent, as volunteers, led by Mia, worked tirelessly to restore it. The community rallied, but Karen remained an outsider, her pride a wall no one could breach. The field reopened just in time for the season's final game, a bittersweet victory for the Wildcats. Mia scored the winning goal, her teammates lifting her onto their shoulders as the crowd roared. Karen watched from a distance, her shovel long gone, but the weight of her actions heavier than ever. In the end, the field was more than grass and pipes. It was a mirror reflecting the best and worst of Willow Creek. Karen paid her fine, draining her savings, and moved away, her house sold to a young family who cheered at the games. The town moved on, but the scar of her outburst lingered, a cautionary tale whispered at barbecues and PTA meetings. Mia, meanwhile, earned her scholarship, her resilience a quiet triumph over Karen's destruction. But the true cost wasn't measured in dollars or repaired sprinklers. It was in the moments Karen missed the chance to listen, to connect, to be part of something bigger than her anger. She'd swung her shovel to reclaim control, but all she'd done was dig her own isolation deeper. And as the sprinklers popped back to life, watering the field under a starry sky, the town celebrated a victory Karen would never understand. Nd.